Hi there, I'm Jen Duchenne, and welcome to another edition of the Illumination for the week. We're looking at February 25th through the 3rd of March. So we're in one of those weeks that is the transition of 2 months. So we're moving from a 14 universal month and a 2 calendar month to a 3 calendar month and a 15 universal month. So that's a leap we're taking into a new kind of way of being. We're starting to integrate some of these concepts that we've now spoken about. And let's get started. See what the Illuminating Journey Cards have to say about this week. I'm the creator of the cards. And of course, if you'd like to know more about them, you can go to jenduchenne.com/Illuminating Journey Cards. I prepared the cards, so let's see what they have to say. So we start off with this card, Wings, Flight. And for those of you who don't know, this deck contains 3 different types of cards, and this is one of the tool cards. So it helps us to deal with what is coming, because I always ask the question, what do we need to know for this week? And so this is the first card on the deck, Flight. And of course, as always, you may see or feel or hear something different from what I say, and trust that. Trust your own intuition. Trust what the cards are telling you. For me, I feel this sense of lightness when I look at these wings, this sense of flight, the tool. I feel like the universe is telling us to kind of take flight over or above the fears we have around what's coming up, because we know there's a lot of change. We know there are things coming in that maybe we're not sure what they are. Like, we're in a place of flux, and so we don't know what things are, what they mean, or how they're going to turn out. And that's certainly true at any time, but in this time we're experiencing this in a deeper, more profound way. Values are being challenged. The words we use, the thoughts we have, they're all being challenged. So this idea of taking flight or rising above what we think we know. This is about rising above presumption, taking a bird's eye view, lifting ourselves out of the mire and muck to get a better understanding of the picture. Like so many times, our minds, we make up our minds, right? We have that expression, I've made up my mind. This is what this means. And we don't always say that to ourselves, but that's what's happening in our minds. We're going, yes, I know this is what this means. So this card is calling us to not declare that we know what this means until we take flight, rise above it, take that energy that's coming through us so we can have new vision, see with new eyes, see through our heart. Perhaps the things we assume mean something else. And perhaps the things we fear are not here to engage us in fear, but instead to invite us to partake in a different way. So a lot of things to think about in terms of starting off this week's reading with taking flight. And as I mentioned, we're moving into a different month. So we are definitely taking flight on some of the things we've integrated already, right? The things we've been learning and kind of being still with, that have been moving through us, are now ready to be to soar, basically. So are we willing to soar with it? So what's the card number 2? So here, card number 2, which is the 11 Soul Portal card. And wow, I think this is such an incredible message, taking flight. And I think this is talking to how we are to take flight. This isn't about taking flight and leaving our bodies or leaving the world we're in. Instead, this is about grounding and connecting, seeing how in this image, in this portal, how this body is laying down roots, shooting roots into the earth, and allowing the intelligence, the lightning energies, the veins of the lightning and thunder of source to illuminate the senses and grow the roots. So in fact, 11 is a card of new beginnings and finding balance and stepping into a portal. And this is a very sacred time to find your wings or soar or take flight being in your body. This is a very important time to remember that your body is the vehicle for how you experience life on earth. So as you take root and listen to this energy and allow it to commingle within you, that idea of the one, the I, or who am I, or where am I going, kind of repeated here with this 11, the new beginning, the double new beginning, the finding the balance in between, finding your place, who are you, and what does it mean to be rooted in the knowledge of who you are, to be connected to who you are. That lightning rod between heaven and earth puts you in a position where you can own the energy you're stepping into, own the idea of bringing the two sides, the yin and yang energies together, so they meld within you. So very powerful, supported energy that's happening here. You know, we have the crystals, this energy of being rooted in earth in a whole new way, and a full moon, the culmination of what you've come here to do. And this is actually the symbol of alchemy, or becoming who you are. And 15, interesting enough, the month we're moving into is a month of spiritual alchemy, where we begin to integrate or heal the parts of us that are other or outside of who we think we are in the world. So let's see what the card number 3 is. And here we have the 13. You know, this has come up quite a few times in readings lately, and it's a fascinating card because it contains all the myths or mythology of the sacred beings that bring us into wholeness. This is about allowing the sight of connecting to these mythical beings, to the mythical energy, the ethereal, oops, the card is moving out of my hand, the ethereal energy that is calling us to make pearls. Now, one of the things that's so interesting about pearls is the fact that a pearl is made through grit and grime. The oyster makes the pearl when some dirt gets inside, and that's part of the earthly realm. To make the pearl, we must be, you know, here on earth, remembering who we are, remembering this kind of call to our sacred selves, our divine selves, that the physical gives us the strength to be here. And interesting that this card has this earth on fire. It's like we're waking up, we're bringing ourselves alive and remembering. So we're moving through the mythic patterning to remember our truth, the phoenix rising, you know, out of the ashes, out of the death, out of the grit of what we've experienced and what we're about to experience. Will come these beautiful pearls, will come remembrance, will come integration with the flow and the truth of how water and fire transforms us into these pearls. You know, it's a very physical, material thing. And this time is about the physical and material, but it's not about being bound by someone else's concepts about who you are. This is about being bound, or shall we say, have the boundaries, not bound, but have the boundaries of the pearl within us, the truth, the wholeness of ourselves. So we bring the mythic, the etheric, the mystery of life into matter. So we become the conduits for bringing our gifts, our imagination into the material world. So these cards in this reading are telling me that we have to move beyond how we've been stuck or what we've been thinking about. if we think that we are stuck and that circumstances have brought us here and there's nothing we can do, then this reading is about telling us to take flight, right? Take flight, to rise above that idea that we are victims of circumstance or that someone else is pulling the strings, and remember that we have wings, that we can fly, that we can break free of being kind of beholden to a certain belief system or idealism or disillusion that keeps us trapped. So this is about breaking free, breaking away, beginning to recognize and own a different truth, and then stepping into the now of who we are, which is grounded and soaring, connected, bringing our divine truth and resonance into the earth by recognizing the wholeness, allowing that energy to balance us within this kind of pearl, within the pearl that we are. So engaging with the mythical process, the alchemic process, becoming the healers of our own lives, our own circumstance, and recognizing that we are free if we follow this divine path. Like, we are free to be the pearl, we are free to be fully here, present, not restricted by old thinking or somebody else telling you that you don't have any power or you don't have any gifts, because this card is telling you you have many gifts. I'm just being called to pull one more card, so I'm going to do that, and let's see what we have. So here, fascinating, we have the 7. So this is the other kind of card in this deck. And we have numbers or levels, and the 7 levels. So it's very interesting because 7s have been showing up quite a lot, and we just had that 13, which is about change, right? 13 is change, but it's also about the unexpected change that knocks us off our feet and brings us into a whole new reality, that we lay a foundation for new things. And here the 7, which I've been told is the energy of this change we're in. As you can see, it's kind of like an arrow pointing upwards. So we're pulling up or sending up energy to draw down or to know more about who we are from source, from the universe, God, whatever you call it. We're actually receiving the information. It's like a lightning bolt that's bringing information into us, awaking our intuition, our insights, our awareness about what it means to be human, using the idea of love, this energy of love, of joy, of all these creative emotions that allow us to tap into our greatness, allow us to express who we are, to understand the truth of our spirituality, our wisdom, the things that we put value in. This is about rethinking our values, rethinking our approach to our values, like what we've done in the past. Whatever it is fine, right? There's no need to judge what we've done in the past, but we also need to be in the present, like these cards here are indicating, right here, right now. Look there, right there, there's like a 7 right there. Isn't that amazing? Be right here, right now, owning this moment, owning who we are. And this 7 is going, right, who do I need to be now, right now, so I can use what I've experienced and help myself heal, so I can change how I feel about my life going forward. It's a very powerful, innovative, reflective time, with opening yourself up to that truth, that greatness, that energy of you beyond what you've been told, beyond what you've accepted, beyond your denial. And this is also about being in truth with yourself, like being aware that it's not like, everything is easy or everything will fall into place. Does take work. It's effort. And it's effort on the part of you changing your mind or taking flight and recognizing this this transference or this transmutation that needs to happen when you're willing to take flight, soar above what has been, connect in a whole new way to the truth of who you are. So you become that lightning rod between heaven and earth. So you're on purpose about bringing new things or an exposed you into the world and transforming through this process of recognizing the power of what is magical, what is mythical, what is hidden, bringing it into the front, bringing it into your world, your life, and then, of course, remembering, right? Taking the time to integrate your ability to use your intuition, to use your insights, to activate all of this, the potential of who you are, and your place in the world, and what you believe and accept about yourself, and the power within you to change your world and to change where you're going. Because when you change your world and how you live, then everything around you changes. Like the same place, you can be in exactly the same place, but everything becomes different. So please let me know how this landed for you. Is there something that showed up that I didn't mention? I'd love to hear that, because of course each of us receives different information from these soul portal cards. As I mentioned, Illuminating Journey Cards are available at jendushen.com/illuminating journey cards. I do card readings and Akashic readings, so if you're interested, you can check my website, jendushen.com, or contact me at jen@jendushen.com. And if nothing else, please subscribe to my channel so you get all the weekly and other videos. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.